Notice is hereby given that a special meeting of the City Council will be held on Thursday, November 17th, 2022, at 6:10 p.m. in person in the City Council Chambers, 93 Washington Street, second floor, and via remote participation in accordance with Chapter 107 of the Act of 2022 for the purpose of taking the following: an act relative to preliminary election dates and filling vacancies in the offices of mayor and councilor in the City of Salem. Members of the public may attend in person or remotely via Zoom by going to the website link noted below. Please click the link found in the agenda, password 504202. Go to the website link zoom.us/join, enter webinar ID 871-8930-5473, followed by the meeting password noted above if necessary. No, I know. Yeah, that happened before too. Okay, all right. Or telephone by dialing toll-free 877-853-5257 or 888-475-4499 and enter webinar ID 871-8930-5473. For those dialing in, you may press star 9 to raise your hand to speak. For those present in the council chambers, the council president will allow you to make comment. The public may also watch the meeting live on SATV on channel 22. A special meeting of the City Council was held in the City Council chambers on Thursday, November 17th, 2022 at 6:10 p.m. for the purpose of taking action on the following Home Rule petition: an act relative to preliminary election dates and filling of vacancies in the office of mayor. Notice of this meeting was posted on November 15th, 2022 at 2:07 p.m. Absent were none. Council President Patricia Morcillo is presiding. Madam City Clerk.
With the following home rule petition submitted by the city solicitor relative to a preliminary election dates and filling vacancies in the offices of mayor and councilor in the city of Salem.
Councilor Riccardi.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Councilor Riccardi moves for adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. As we briefly introduced on Monday, these are items that need to be changed within our charter and the Chapter 44 of the Acts of 1960 to help replace our outgoing mayor as she takes on her new role as Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you. I will add that just again, I want to underline the fact that I will allow public comment. This newly submitted home rule petition does not include any wording on replacing city councilors, ward councilors specifically. So I will not be taking public comment on that. We'll take that up at another time. At this time, I would suggest that maybe we could waive the rules if somebody would like that and allow the city solicitor to speak. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Council President Morcillo. I would move to waive the rules to allow Ms. Renaud to address us, and I just want to go on the record as thanking Beth for all her efforts over the last few months, as well as with the city solicitor. We have, and you too as well, President Morcillo, we've sat down numerous times and had numerous phone conversations and tried to come up with the solutions needed to ensure that this election coming up will be fair. And it was identified early on that one of the biggest hurdles was the timing between the preliminary election and the final election. And from the Act of 1960, it specifically stated 3 weeks, and that wasn't going to work. And our good city clerk let us know that very vehemently, and so that's why after many consultations with the legal team at the state, this is the route they asked us to choose. And for the record, there's been some back and forth with regards to the part that's not in the section tonight. That came out of a recommendation from the state initially because of the way the wording was for the vacancy if it would occur in an at-large position. So I understand the pushback and I respect people's opinions on it. And at this time, we need to make sure that the election come next spring to fill the vacancy of the mayor is open and transparent and has the appropriate amount of time to allow it to occur. So with that, I will move to allow Beth to add anything to that if she so chooses. Thank you.
On Council McCarthy's motion to suspend the rules, all those in favor? All those opposed? The motion carries. Ms. Renard.
Thank you. Hope you can hear me all right. The proposed home rule petition before you tonight, as has been said, amends Chapter 445 of the Acts of 1960 and Chapter 59, Section 59A of our city charter. The proposed changes to Chapter 445 of the Acts of 1960 will allow more time, going from 3 weeks to between 6 and 8 weeks, for the city clerk to process ballots, absentee ballots, to print bilingual ballots, and other election obligations that have become law since the 1960s. Since 1962, the city has been able to utilize Mass General Law, Chapter 54, Section 103P, which allows for regular elections for the city council to broaden that time period between preliminaries and the regular election. Where that isn't available for special elections, that's what has necessitated this home rule petition to change that special act. In addition to that, we are recommending changes where there was an error in sections 3 and 4, recommending that wording be corrected. We are adding gender-neutral language, and we're eliminating any reference to the year 1900 that is found in the Act. With respect to proposed changes to Section 59A of the Charter, we are clarifying the status of councilors serving as acting mayor post the special election, that they will resume their seat, and how they will be identified on any subsequent ballot. It establishes that the quantum of vote for city council actions during that acting mayor time will be based on a 10-member body. And again, as been stated here, we have eliminated any change to the filling of a vacancy of a ward councilor, as was presented earlier this week.
Thank you. Do any councilors have any questions or comments? Seeing none. Do we have anyone from the public, either here in the room or remotely, who would like to speak? If you'd like to approach the microphone, please state your name and address for the record and speak directly into the mic, please.
David Pizzeni, Thomas Circle, Salem, Massachusetts, Ward 4, I believe. As you've opened up the charter this year to make changes, I would like to request, as a citizen, to exercise our rights to appoint a committee of our own to look over not only the changes you proposed, but also the entire charter. So if petitions can be made ready for those nominations of those citizen board members, to review these changes as well as the entire charter.
Okay, thank you. Did you have anything else to add? No?
When will the petitions be ready? That's what I'd like to know. Because you've opened the charter, you sent it to committee, and as a citizen, we have a right to form our own. They need to be nominated, just like an election. We need petitions prepared here to nominate those board members to oversee the charter for these rule changes and any other articles within the charter.
Okay. Ms. Renard, I'll let you.
Yes, opening the charter is one way to amend your charter. The way that we are proposing it is through a home rule petition, which is a special act of the legislature, so that's not applicable at this time.
Actually, during the year of a special election, a citizen may request so.
This is not a year of a special election at this time.
You are forming that special election. As a citizen, I have the right to request it because you are forming that special election. So you've already opened up the charter. You're forming the special election.
Go ahead.
Well, that is something that I will review at a later time. It's not before this council tonight. Thank you.
Thank you,
but
sir.
it's part of the rule changes you're about to vote on. Before you vote, we have the right to review them. You've already sent it to committee. I've checked with the State House. So
Yeah, I will underscore the fact that your question has been answered by the city solicitor, that we have not opened the charter. We've done it a different way through a home rule petition.
But no, by the way you've done it, we have a right to ask to review all the changes as well as every other article within the charter, because it is the year of a special election.
It is not the year of a special election. A special election has not been called. I am going to cut off comment right now, and if you'd like to follow up with the city solicitor tomorrow, please do so.
I will follow up with the Secretary of State.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else? Scott Sheehan, you are up next. If you could state your name and address for the record. Hold on, Scott.
Raising my hand, but thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead. Oh, Scott, you're muted again, if you can unmute.
Go ahead. Oh, Scott, you're muted again, if you can unmute.
I didn't raise my hand for any public comment. I expressed some opinions to my ward councilor, but I don't have anything for the record for public.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else? If you're joining the meeting through Zoom, you can use the *9 function to raise your hand to make public comment. Seeing none. If there's no further discussion on Councilor Riccardi's motion for adoption by roll call vote, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cohen?
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez?
Yes.
Councilor Hapworth?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor McLean?
Yes.
Councilor Merkel?
Yes.
Councilor Prosniewski?
Yes.
Councilor Riccardi?
Yes.
Councilor Varela?
Yes.
Councilor Watson-Felt?
Yes.
And Councilor Masillo?
Yes. The Home Rule Petition Act relative to preliminary election dates and filling of vacancies in the offices of mayor and councilor for the city of Salem. We have 11 councilors voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, President Marcel. I move for immediate reconsideration in hopes it does not prevail.
Councilor McCarthy moves for immediate reconsideration in the hopes that it does not prevail. All those in favor? All those opposed? Opposed. The matter does not carry. Councilor McCarthy.
I further move for adjournment.
Councilor McCarthy moves to adjourn. All those in favor? The matter carries. We are adjourned.